Here's a beautiful aerial view of Elizabeth Lake located at the top of the Hampton River. It is connected to the river, therefore the water is brackish in tidal. It is home to the Hampton River Elizabeth Lake Oyster Sanctuary Reef, which was built in 2016 by neighborhood oyster gardeners in partnership with Elizabeth Lake Estates Civic Association and the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. These stakes mark where the reef is. As you can see, it's high tide and the reef is covered with water. Later the same day, the spring tide went out, allowing this special peak at the Oyster Reef. The cement round ball structures that you see are called oyster reef balls, which are used to provide more substrate for oysters to grow on. As you can see, barnacles also like to grow on them. The oysters that make up this 50-foot-long reef were grown by area oyster gardeners, including Hampton City School students. You may notice they look muddy. That mud is called sediment, and it's a pollution problem in our waterways. Look carefully, this oyster is slightly open and filtering until I touch it and it quickly closes. Each oyster that size can filter up to 50 gallons of water per day. They also provide habitat and food for many species, as well as acting as a buffer to protect the shoreline. These oysters spawn. Perhaps they produced some of the oysters living nearby. Along with the oysters, you may notice some other marsh buddies that also enjoy the shoreline. This oyster is growing on a stick that it shares with some marsh periwinkles, and this one has attached itself to a mussel growing at the base of a clump of cordgrass. We are grateful for this oyster reef and the benefits it provides to this neighborhood and the Chesapeake Bay, and we are grateful for the stewardship that allows it to thrive. It shows how a small group of people can make a big difference. May it leave you inspired.